Steph White should have looked at that. Didn't see a foul. Also didn't see one on Cloud playoff type GM. What a finish by JJ.
I knew my help was on the backside, so I didn't bump. I was top locked there, so she couldn't come off so easily. I knew she was going to go left, and as soon as she brought that ball up, I just poked it in.
The WNBA world is absolutely exploding right now. And if you thought the drama was over after that nail-biting Liberty versus Fever game, think again. Natasha Cloud has officially doubled down on one of the most controversial no-calls in recent WNBA history, and her response is sending shockwaves through social media.
Caitlin Clark and Indiana Fever did come up short playing up against the New York Liberty, all because one referee decided to not call a foul on Natasha Cloud in the final seconds of the game. Well, it looked like Natasha Cloud has responded to the online scrutiny she has been receiving, bruh. I'm telling you right now, this is a bad look for the WNBA referees.
This wasn't just any ordinary WNBA matchup. This was the defending champion New York Liberty rolling into Gainbridge Fieldhouse to face Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever in what was supposed to be a measuring stick game. The sellout crowd of over 17,000 was electric, and both teams came ready to prove something. The Liberty were looking to maintain their perfect 3-0 start to the season, while the Fever wanted to make a statement against the reigning champions.
And again, you can make the argument that late in the game, you don't want to decide a game on that foul. Well, that argument becomes null and void when Natasha Cloud, or like when the referees screwed over the Fever. That argument becomes null and void when the Fever got absolutely screwed by the referees the possession earlier.
And boy, did this game deliver drama in ways nobody expected. The Fever, despite being the underdogs, went toe-to-toe with the champions and even took a commanding 12-point lead in the fourth quarter. For a moment there, it looked like Caitlin Clark and company might just pull off the upset of the early season. The crowd was on their feet, the energy was through the roof, and everything seemed to be falling into place for Indiana.
I told you, the Indiana Fever, if there's one thing they'll do all year, it is fight till the very end, down as much as 15, battling all the way back, taking a 12-point lead, only to watch that 12-point lead, poof, evaporate in a matter of 3 minutes. Were the referees awful? You're damn right they were. Were the referees garbage? You're damn right they were. Were they calling ticky-tack fouls for the Liberty and not giving us? You are 100% correct.
But then, the Liberty did what champions do. They clawed their way back. Jonquel Jones, who finished with 26 points and 12 rebounds, single-handedly outscored the entire Fever team 14-12 in the final quarter. The momentum shifted, and what had been a comfortable lead for Indiana suddenly evaporated into a nail-biting finish that would leave everyone talking for days. Here's where things get absolutely wild, and I'm telling you, this sequence of events is going to be debated for months to come. With the game tied at 88-88 and just 2.9 seconds left on the clock, Sabrina Ionescu stepped to the free throw line for the Liberty. She calmly sank both shots, putting New York up 90-88 and setting the stage for what should have been a thrilling final possession.
Natasha Cloud not getting called for that foul she applied on Caitlin Clark changes everything. I mean, that altered the game, bro. It definitely did. Caitlin Clark came out in that fourth quarter, got the ball, and she was hacked extremely bad, bro.
If you are enjoying, please subscribe. The Fever called timeout to advance the ball, and everyone in that arena knew exactly who was getting the ball. Caitlin Clark, the rookie sensation who had been carrying college basketball on her back, was now tasked with potentially sending this game to overtime or even winning it outright. Sophie Cunningham inbounded the ball to Clark between the circles, and that's when the controversy began. Clark drove left toward the basket, and as she moved into her shooting motion, Natasha Cloud came up with what the Liberty would call a game-saving defensive play. But here's the thing. There was clearly contact. Clark was knocked back, the ball came loose, and she never got a shot off. The clock expired, the Liberty celebrated, and Clark immediately threw her hands up, looking for a foul call that never came. The replay shows Cloud pushing her shoulder into Clark's the moment the ball came loose. It's right there on video, clear as day, yet the referees swallowed their whistles and let the contact go. Clark was furious, and rightfully so. She approached the officials, gesturing with her hands and clearly expressing her disbelief, saying what appeared to be, "You've got to be kidding. You serious?"
Screening action down low. Clark has to get open. 1 second left. Clark doesn't get the shot off. Cloud locks her up. And New York comes into Indianapolis and takes the checkered flag.
My goodness. And look at her face after this. Look at her face, because she knows she just got away with murder. She knows she just cheated.
If you thought Caitlin Clark was upset, wait until you hear what her head coach had to say about this whole situation. Stephanie White, who's never been one to mince words, absolutely unloaded on the officiating crew in the post-game press conference, and her comments have been reverberating throughout the WNBA community ever since. "I thought it was egregious, honestly. I thought it was obvious," White said about the no call on Clark, but she didn't stop there. Oh no, she was just getting warmed up. White went on to call out what she perceived as a pattern of biased officiating against her team, saying, "It's pretty egregious what's been happening to us the last few games. The disrespect right now for our team has been pretty unbelievable." The numbers back up White's frustration too. The free throw disparity in this game was absolutely staggering. The Liberty shot 32 free throws compared to just 15 for the Fever. That's more than a 2-to-1 ratio. And for a coach watching her team get hammered down low without getting calls, those numbers tell a story that goes beyond just one controversial final play.
I thought she got fouled. I think it's...
And obviously, Caitlin Clark got fouled about 4 times before the ball was stripped cleanly. But the thing is, I always say with the fouls, it's fine. It is fine to not call these fouls if you're going to call it physical both ways, but it's touch fouls on the Fever and physical against Fever.
pretty egregious what's been happening to us the last few games. A minus 31 free throw discrepancy. And I might be able to understand it if we were just chucking threes, but we're not. We're attacking the rim. And the disrespect right now for our team has been pretty unbelievable.
White also took issue with the WNBA's system for addressing officiating concerns, questioning whether it actually works. There's a system to making sure that we can send stuff in and communicate our grievances, so to speak. I don't know if I have a feeling that the system works, she said. When a head coach is publicly questioning the league's ability to police its own officials, that's a serious indictment of the system. Now here's where this story takes another dramatic turn. In the aftermath of all this controversy, with social media buzzing about the no call and fans demanding answers, Natasha Cloud had the perfect opportunity to address the situation. Maybe offer some perspective on the play, acknowledge the competitive nature of the moment, or even show some sportsmanship toward Clark. Instead, Cloud chose to double down in a way that has absolutely stunned the basketball world. When ESPN's Elle Duncan tweeted about the play, stating that she didn't see a foul and calling it a playoff type of game, Cloud quickly responded with, "Appreciate you always." Just like that, Cloud made it clear that she has no intention of acknowledging any wrongdoing on her part. This response is particularly telling when you consider Cloud's history of controversial comments about physical play against Clark.
Elle Duncan stated Stephanie White should have looked at that, didn't see a foul, also didn't see one on Cloud, playoff type of game. What a finish by JJ. Now, guys, we know Elle Duncan is a serial hater at this point, bro. I mean, last year she was all cool, but she must have switched up her temperature after Stephen A. Smith or somebody called her out on the show thing. Because I'm telling you right now, Elle Duncan has simply been one of the biggest haters in the damn genre. I'm sorry, bro. But it looked like Natasha Cloud hurried up and responded to this. She stated, "Appreciate you always." So it looked like they have somewhat of a relationship.
What makes this controversy even more infuriating for Fever fans is that it's part of what appears to be a broader pattern of questionable officiating decisions that have gone against Indiana this season. In their previous game against Atlanta, the Fever had only 4 free throw attempts through 37 minutes of play. That's not just unusual, it's borderline inexplicable for a team that plays an aggressive, attacking style of basketball. Both of the Fever's losses this season have been decided in the final moments, with opposing teams shooting free throws in the final 10 seconds. While close games often come down to free throws, the disparity in calls has become impossible to ignore. When Aaliyah Boston, who plays physical basketball down low, isn't getting foul calls despite what observers describe as getting absolutely hammered, something is clearly off with the officiating. The timing of these controversial calls also raises questions about whether officials are influenced by the moment or the team involved. When you're the defending champions like the Liberty, do you get the benefit of the doubt in close calls? When you're a young team like the Fever trying to establish yourselves, are you held to a different standard?
The Fever were on the wrong end of some whistles, it seemed, in this game, and it's seemingly been that way for much of the season, and it's been a recurring theme where there's a level of physicality allowed against them, and they're not allowed to reciprocate on the other end. That particularly, of course, goes for Caitlin Clark. So by White speaking up, not only is it a tactic to get a better whistle from the refs, but it's also a statement to say, I've got your backs to the team. And I think it needed to be said, particularly when applying it to the Indiana Fever.
This controversy extends far beyond just one game or one no call. We're talking about the integrity of officiating in a league that's experiencing unprecedented growth and attention, largely thanks to players like Caitlin Clark. The WNBA is riding a wave of popularity that it's never experienced before, with sellout crowds, increased television ratings, and mainstream media coverage that was unthinkable just a few years ago. But with that increased scrutiny comes increased responsibility. When questionable calls decide games, especially games involving the league's biggest stars, it reflects poorly on the entire organization. Fans invest emotionally and financially in these teams, and they deserve to feel confident that games are being decided by the players on the court, not by the officials wearing the stripes. For Caitlin Clark specifically, this no call potentially cost her a chance at WNBA history. She finished the game with 18 points and 10 rebounds, just 2 points shy of what would have been her 11th career 20-point, 10-rebound game, the most by any player in league history. Those 2 points she might have scored from the free throw line could have set a record that might stand for years.
When it comes to Caitlin Clark, like, she's not particularly happy either. She's not particularly happy either. About the refs. And the referees are just, they're screwing her. They're absolutely screwing her, and they've screwed her for 3 games in a row. They literally are allowing her. Heck, they screwed her in the playoffs as well. Like, do you remember this in the playoffs?
Teams are going to pick up
like, again,
Caitlin
I'm not
Clark
calling
the
this a foul
second
on
she
Burton.
touches the basketball.
Like, it could be a foul on
That's what
Burton.
Burton
Look what
did
Mabry
there.
does to it.
All over Caitlin.
Mabry
going
smacked her in the face.
That's a foul.
Mabry smacked her in the face, and like, literally, the commentators are laughing.
Natasha Cloud's response to this controversy also shines a light on her reputation as one of the WNBA's more physical and outspoken players. The 33-year-old veteran has never shied away from playing aggressive defense or speaking her mind about controversial topics. Her refusal to acknowledge the foul fits perfectly with her persona as someone who believes in playing physical basketball and not backing down from confrontation. Cloud's defensive prowess was on full display throughout this game, not just on the final play. She finished with impressive numbers and was instrumental in the Liberty's comeback victory. Her ability to step up in crucial moments is exactly why Liberty acquired her, and her performance in this game validates that decision. However, her post-game response through social media suggests a player who either genuinely believes she made a clean play or simply refuses to give any ground to critics. Either way, it's created a narrative that will follow both players for the rest of the season.
Natasha Cloud was the second best player on the floor last night. I thought she was fantastic. She was absolutely fantastic, but she fouled Caitlin Clark. Like, it's not a personal attack on Natasha Cloud. She fouled Caitlin Clark. She fouled Caitlin Clark. There is zero chance that about 3 fouls coming up to this, she reached through her arm. Yes, she got a bit of the ball. That is a foul.
Looking ahead, this controversy sets up what promises to be one of the most compelling storylines of the WNBA season. The Liberty and Fever are scheduled to play 3 more times during the regular season, and you can bet that every interaction between Cloud and Clark will be scrutinized. The tension between these 2 players, and by extension their teams, has been elevated to a level that will make every future matchup must-see television. For the WNBA as a whole, this incident represents both a challenge and an opportunity. The challenge is addressing the perception that officiating inconsistencies are affecting game outcomes. The opportunity is leveraging this drama to continue building the league's profile and engaging fans in meaningful basketball conversations. The league's response to this controversy will be telling. Will they acknowledge the missed call and work to improve officiating consistency? Will they defend their officials and maintain that the right call was made? Or will they try to downplay the whole situation and hope it blows over? Whatever approach they take will send a message about how seriously they take these concerns.
So as you can see after the game, Caitlin Clark and Sophie are both running up to the referee here. They are both so upset, and the referee is just walking away from them. He won't even look at them in the face. He keeps turning, like Sophie even went up at one point and is like tapping on his arm. He would not even look at them. You guys, I have watched so much basketball in my lifetime, so much NBA, so much professional basketball. It's comical at times when you see the players after the games talking to the refs, because a lot of them end up knowing each other at a certain point because they've reffed their game so many times. The fact that this referee wouldn't even acknowledge the players was kind of crazy to me. Like when I saw that, I said, this is really strange, because the referee should have enough confidence in the calls that they made to at least discuss. You should be able to at least discuss something with the players, because a lot of times players will go up and be like, why did you call that? What did you see? What was going on? And there's a back and forth that's happening.
However, one thing is crystal clear. This story is far from over. Natasha Cloud's refusal to acknowledge the foul has only added fuel to a fire that was already burning bright. With Stephanie White calling out the officials, media personalities taking sides, and fans passionately debating every angle of this play, we're witnessing the kind of drama that makes sports compelling. The beauty of basketball is that it gives these teams a chance to settle their differences on the court. When the Liberty and Fever meet again, you can be sure that both Cloud and Clark will be ready to make their statements through their play. Until then, this controversy will continue to simmer, with each side convinced they're in the right and unwilling to back down. What do you think? Was it a foul or a clean defensive play? Should Natasha Cloud have shown more sportsmanship in her response? And will this controversy impact how these teams approach their future matchups? Feel free to sound off in the comments below.